Hi, I'm Andre, and I'm a black nerd, and what is going on with Spider-Man 3? Look, I don't like to talk a lot about movie rumors because, let's just be real, there's a lot of fake information and rumors that go out about movies all the time, and they always have that same thing of, oh, it's from a source close to the project, or oh, it's from an exclusive source, or oh, my uncle works at the studio, that end up not being true. But this one has gotten so crazy that I'm like, I gotta talk about this because I either hope that it is true, or if it's not true, then how do we make it true? And that is all this information that is floating around about the next Spider-Man movie in the MCU. So here's how I believe it began. Supposedly, allegedly, possibly, not confirmed, because as of right now, as the filming of this video, none of this is officially confirmed, but what's been said at least, supposedly Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro. There was an article talking about how he was in final talks to reprise his role as Electro. He supposedly even put out an Instagram post talking about how he's happy to come back and that he won't be blue this time. So in case you forgot, which you may have because those movies have been a while and we did a whole reboot since then, Jamie Foxx was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was the sequel to obviously the Amazing Spider-Man movies that starred Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. And now he is supposedly going to be coming back as Electro in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Now, this is not the first time they've done this. J.K. Simmons played J. Jonah Jameson, the head of the Daily Bugle, in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. They had J. Jonah Jameson return in Far From Home. We got to see J.K. Simmons come back as J. Jonah Jameson. He was a slightly different J. Jonah Jameson, though. He was now like this internet news, loud mouth, you know what I'm saying. You've seen the type. But that was kind of like a joke thing, like if you think about it, that was like a fun cameo and fun little Easter egg. Wasn't really setting up the idea that a multiverse could happen or that any other Spider-Man characters could return in this universe. But now that you're saying that Electro could possibly be in this, definitely gives that thought of like, well, wait a minute, why would you cast the same actor to play the same character in a completely different Spider-Man storyline unless it's somehow connected? And then that's when the report went out that supposedly Doctor Strange is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Benedict Cumberbatch coming in as Doctor Strange, kind of taking over the role that Tony Stark had and Nick Fury had in the previous two films of being Spider-Man's mentor, which at this point, does he need one? But obviously having Doctor Strange in it further kind of puts out that idea of, are we dealing with a multiverse here? Because Doctor Strange's next movie of his own is going to be called Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And it's already been, pretty much thought of that movie is going to deal with the multiverse or alternate realities. And we might even be seeing an inkling of that start with the Disney Plus series WandaVision, alternate realities or creating alternate worlds from either Scarlet Witch or just in general. And Scarlet Witch is also supposedly going to be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So if you're going to have a sequel to Doctor Strange that's going to be tapping into the possibilities of a multiverse, and now Doctor Strange is going to be in a Spider-Man movie, and you're getting a Spider-Man villain from another Spider-Man franchise movie to be in this movie, you see how all the dots are connecting here? And the director of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is Sam Raimi, who was the director of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. It's all connected. That's when it was supposedly said Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield could be returning as their respective Spider-Man in the next Spider-Man movie. To the point where Sony had to come out and make an official statement. And this could have been the time that Sony could have been like, y'all, this is all hearsay and rumors and fake stuff. Don't listen to all this. We know what we're doing. But instead, what they said was that the casting announcements of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are, quote, unquote, not confirmed. Didn't say it was true. Didn't say it was false. They just said, not confirmed. Come on, man. So this is the way I see this. This either has to be true or it needs to become true. Maybe what's going on right now is it's all about the contracts. It's all about the signing papers, dotting I's, crossing T's, you know, all that kind of stuff to make sure they can officially say it. Or maybe they just don't want to say it now because they're going to have some announcement of some kind or some trailer of some kind to really confirm it. But it could be possible that it's at least in the discussion. Or maybe it's just an idea that they have and they're seeing if they can actually pull it off. But just maybe someone spoke a little out of turn, a little early, and that's why that's out there. That's what I'm hoping, at least. I'm not saying that that is the truth. I'm just saying that that's what I hope. If that is not the case, then somebody at Sony and Marvel need to get on the phone and figure out if there's a way that they can do this. Even if this wasn't the idea, now the idea is out there. Because it's one thing to have an idea that people make up and then it ends up not being true and it's like whatever. But if this is something that where it really has all these different pieces to kind of show that it could happen, you can't now just be like, nah, it's just another movie about a disgruntled ex-Tony Stark employee. Like, we can't have that now. The bar is set high. Personally, I want this to happen. Like, I think this would be amazing. You know how insane it would be to see Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all together on screen. If we could even go to a theater at that point in life, that would be amazing to see. The hoot and the hollering, it would be so crazy. So I want this to happen. Also, let's be real. Look, we always want to talk about, hey, look, Marvel and DC movies are not always in competition with each other. However, it does seem kind of interesting that sometimes when one of them has an idea, the other one's like, oh, we doing that too? There's been a lot of talk that DC's next Flash movie is going to somehow play with the idea of the multiverse. We're even talking about having Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck coming back, both coming back as Batman in that movie again, supposedly. And of course you have the DC television shows who did their whole Crisis on Infinite Earth series, their crossovers. If that's already happening in DC land, you don't think Marvel land is like, hey, we should probably do this too? And who better to do that with than with the character that's already had 3 freaking movie franchises for himself. And now that you've already had Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, introduced the concept of the SpiderVerse specifically, not necessarily an MCU movie, but at least we have that concept that exists. And now we have audiences that are able to probably understand the concept of a multiverse in a movie where that might have been maybe concern of that being too complicated in the past. Now that these movies are basically series, people can understand that concept and just the fun Easter egg ways that you can connect old superhero movies to new superhero movies. I think this is kind of a no-brainer thing to do. It's just a matter of, again, will everyone be on board? Can they make it happen? Then, of course, there's the whole Miles Morales thing. Are we ever going to get a live-action Miles Morales? There's even been rumors floating around that they may have already cast a live-action Miles Morales. Who knows? But yeah, I'm very intrigued by all this. Even if it doesn't end up happening at the end of the day, I feel like there's at least an attempt. There's an idea to make this happen. My only concern, though, let's not forget that not too long ago, Sony and Marvel had a little bit of a fight about what was going to happen with Spider-Man and the MCU and how many movies could he do if he was even going to be able to do MCU movies anymore. And supposedly it's all worked out now where he gets to do like a couple more cameos and whatnot. But my only concern is this cool event also going to be a way to then bring Tom Holland a little bit out of the MCU into whatever, you know, Sony is going to decide to do with the Venoms and the Morbiuses and all that kind of stuff. Like, could a portal to a multiverse open with Tom Holland on the MCU side, but then by the time it closes, he on the other side? Like, I don't know. That's just a concern that I would have. Like I said, I usually don't like to get into the whole rumor mill when it comes to superhero movie stuff. I just feel like a lot of crazy information goes out there that is just flat out made up. But I don't know, man. There's something about this one that I'm just like, let's just see how this plays out. I do want to see it happen. I really would love to see that happen. I would also love to be able to go to a theater to see it happen. Let's get to a point where we can actually go to theaters again, so that by the time this gets made, let's hope that they can figure out a way to film the movie during this time. And then from there, we can hopefully figure out how many Spider-Man are going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Baby steps. Oh, this world of 2020. But if you're still confused, if you're still wondering, is any of this true? Here's what I have to say that I can say is 100% confirmed. We could just wait until the movie comes out. Like, you know, we don't have to know everything about a movie before it's released. Like, sometimes it's nice to go see a movie and not know everything about the movie before you walk in and not have to worry about all this nonsense prior to it of what's real and what's not real. Just, you know, wait till it comes out. Because again, we can't even go into a freaking theater to see a movie right now. So I don't know why everyone's getting so worked up about a movie that we don't even know if we can see when it actually comes out, because we can't even see the movies that are out right now. But yeah, it'd be really cool if all of them showed up in the movie together. So what do you think about all this? Do you think this is all legit? Do you want to see all the Spider-Man come back? Or would you just like a nice traditional Spider-Man story without a bunch of craziness? Good luck with that. Not when that Sinister Six is still trying to happen. Thank you so much for watching. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000. All right, we're petering out. So I think we got petering out. Oh, stop.